Toot your horn. We reach the land of Leo, or better yet, the sun, the ruler of Leo. Its regal nature has come into Leo just over this last weekend. And when I say toot your horn, I mean Leo is about the show, the presentation of the self outward and wondering, you know, what are the effects going to be if I should open my mouth and say something? You know, there might be some belly, heart jitters going on as you determine, am I comfortable enough to step out onto the stage of life and present what it is that I represent, knowing that there will be feedback. And am I going to learn something from it? The sun, our vitality, is in the sign of Leo. Coming home, it does this every year. And so we have to ask ourselves, am I ready to bite the bullet, to not hold back on my personal expression, put it out there, make a statement? And, there's things going on in Leo land. Let's see, let's get up a chart. Long as we're doing this dance. Okay. This is Monday. I look and I'm kind of going, what's going on? Well, first off the bat, what is the Leo signature that's afoot right now? We've got Sun, our vitality, is ready to take chances. There's a good Leonian phrase. Mercury, how we communicate and think. What is it that we want to learn is in that Leo thing, that Leo sign as well. Options are percolating. Mercury's been there for the last couple of weeks or so. And so it's not afraid, it's not intrepidated. It's not, desiring to hold back on those thoughts, leaping out there and presenting themselves. We'll cover a little bit more of that this week because Mercury's going to catch up with that Venus retrograde. Ah, yes. Venus retrograde, that other planet currently doing the Leonian dance. And it's going to go retrograde. Actually, it went retrograde, I think last Friday or something. At least by the weekend, it was moving retrograde. Friday or Saturday, it depends on who you listen to. It stopped on Friday and basically started retreating on Saturday. But Venus, Venus at this theoretical fulcrum point here of the yod, which I covered quite extensively last week, is it's in that Leo chance. It's going to be in Leo for uh, a while longer. Let me look at the chart. It basically goes retrograde back to 12 degrees of Leo. So it's going to cross paths with the sun in its trajectory. And then it's going to turn around and it's going to start going forward again. And it'll be, it looks like beginning of October, early in October, it's going to move on into the next sign of Virgo. So it's going to be hanging there in Leo for a while. It's also going to be hanging in this yod for, a while as well. This is, see, that's a quincunx and that's a quincunx. Sextile pointing at Venus. Ah, welcome to Leo land. How many things might Leo want to present us with? Here we have a archetype of the performer. What kind of wonderful things could that bring up? Also, a ruler or a magical child. These are all energies of Leo percolating, you know. Hmm. The entertainer, the noble knight or the princess. You can pick up on that. There is some regal quality, after all. It is ruled by the sun, so that nobility factor, that regalness, the king himself, the sun is on board in the sign it rules. You know, take a chance, put it out there. But what kind of energies are at work as this is transpiring? I've already mentioned Mercury says, say it, think it, learn it. Yeah. Venus in retrograde, you know, you have to take into account what factors are going to be involved in this long Venus Leo retrograde dance that are going to have to do with our partners, our lovers, those on our wavelength that we would like to participate with. That is Venus. And using lovers, I think, is probably more akin to this than just simply partners. Because, take the chance. Here's the realm of not necessarily matrimony, but courting. There's a good Leonian term, courting. Take the chance. Put it out there. We're going to be in this Venus retrograde cycle for a while. And so I have to say that, take a chance, but use caution or use protection. An option, yes. That could be part of the cautionary tale spun here. Just be aware that because Venus is going retrograde in this land of Leo, things may not appear as clear in that realm of lovers and partnerships as we might think. So, initially, as this month begins, as this week begins, that mercurial factor in Leo is, I would just be, you know, clear or surprised at least at what might leap off your tongue. Mercury, the trickster, may be on board, and before you know it, your tongue is wagging and the words are leaping off your out of your mouth, and it's like, did I was I thinking out loud? Did I really say that? Dancing close to Venus, it's going to cross Venus's path. The field of partnership and love relationship is going to be very near the surface. Pay attention. Yes, there may be the inclination to jump the gun, so to speak. Just be sensitive to the fact that it may or may not be the appropriate time to tickle those heartstrings within one another as adamantly as we might be inclined in true Leonian fashion to take that kind of a chance. It's in the air. Okay, let's bump the chart ahead. Here it is. We're Tuesday, and we're no longer, well, I can say we are never really no longer in the experience of considering what does the moon feel as far as the energy of what's going on. Well, we reached Tuesday. Tuesday's a Mars day. There's some always energy in play when that Mars energy is being tickled. And the moon, you can kind of see it up here, it's within just a few minutes of the nodal axis, actually the south node part of the axis. So how might we want to play this on this Martian Tuesday? Well, it's the south node of the moon. So the things that might be coming up, we're in Libra still, could have something to do with memories, memories of things that transpired in the realm of relationship that may or may not have gone as well as one would hoped they would. That is a south node kind of a version. Are you willing to learn something from those memories? That's the question. Because that's what the south node is there for, to present you with things that are an opportunity to grow from. North node is the actual growth, but the south node is that memory of the things that may not have panned out as well as you thought they would. And they're being tickled by the moon. These are the moon's nodes, after all. So there's a lunar quality present there in that Libra thing. In the early part of this Tuesday, they're saying, am I in tune appropriately with how partnership and relationship matters might best function for me and for somebody else? After all, that is partnership. And what else happens on this day? Oh, well, see the moon, the sun down here at 2 degrees of Leo? On this day, because the moon moves so friggin' fast, 12 to 13 degrees a day, it's also going to form its first quarter moon at 2 degrees of Scorpio. Crisis in action. That's a good term for that first quarter moon. Always to keep that in mind. What kind of energy is attempting to wake up? I'm just looking really quick at some notes here on that first quarter moon. Creating a structure to contain the vision deposited in your soul. Do you hear that? Can you feel that? And this Leo to Scorpio, and Scorpio is where this first quarter moon is. Can you feel the intensity that's possibly at work? Might there be a mystery that is seeking to be resolved by you and by this lunar consideration? That is Scorpio land. Yes, intimacy could be on the table. Remember, don't forget, Venus in Leo does have an intimate side to it. But this is crisis and action time, this first quarter waxing moon. Again, use caution. Keep your antenna up. Is it a mystery ready to be solved? Or is it a mystery seeking to offer you deeper insight into possibilities that might require just a little bit more living in order to perceive fully? After all, it is only the first quarter moon. And it's in a fixed sign. We may have ideas that aren't easily or readily wanting to be ameliorated in any way. No, we want things to be the way we want them to be. That is fixity. But are you ready for the consequences? It is a question to ponder. Move the days ahead, and you kind of see the this yod we were talking about, still very much in vogue. Mercury inching just ever so much closer to Venus. And we get to Thursday, the 27th. Look at that. Mercury, 28 degrees, 10 minutes. Venus, 28 degrees, 11 minutes. This is a supreme conjunction where I would even more adamantly say, watch what leaps off your tongue when it comes to the field of relationship. Also, Venus stands for more than just relations, it stands for our values. And this Mercury Venus dance, Venus retrograde, might have us potentially pondering, you know, is the experience that I'm encountering or sharing or working on with any other individual appropriate? It's worth considering. And be aware that if things want to try to leap off your tongue just a little too fast, what is that? Do you enjoy the taste of foot? Foot in mouth. Oh, the trickster is on board. But hey, we're in Leo land. Take a chance. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, we might be surprised. Yes, we might just be surprised. And this moon right up here, it on this Thursday is also, because remember, it moves very fast, basically a degree every 2 hours. So in 4 hours, no, 8 hours, half, a quarter of the day, a third of the day, it's going to be squaring this conjunction between Mercury and Venus. Squares, oh, the challenge, the moon. How do we feel about this experience that's wanting to, unfold itself for us? That possibly that Mercury actually was the stimulation factor that brought it to the fore. Caution. I would say caution is in the air on this day. Be very clear, or as clear as you can be, and don't let the trickster run rampant with what your thoughts are as far as the experience of intimacy that you share with another. This week's gonna be so much quicker than last week. On this day, you can kind of see Mercury here at 29 degrees, 36 minutes. During this day, Mercury is actually going to shift into Virgo. Mercury is going into this sign, one of the two signs that it rules. Mercury, diligence of getting our thoughts aligned, is going to step up to the plate on this Friday as it leaves the land of Leo, taking those chances, and moves into the Virgoan archetype, where it's going to spell a story, a version of a story that wants all the check marks looked at and checked as appropriate. This is appropriate. This is something that I need to pay attention to. And so we got that. It's later in the day here, and the sun is coming through and hitting my green screen. So it's lighting things up a little bit. And I notice when I lean forward, it gets off. Yeah. Sunshine. That's because my chair isn't blocking it out as well. So here we go. We made it to Friday. The weekend is here. We're going into the weekend with this kind of energy. What kind of energy? Oh, Mercury. Mercury says, this might be an interesting or an appropriate time to get our ducks in order. Do we really perceive the process that we are engaged in as fulfilling the most ideal, organized kind of energy that will advance us. I use that very particularly because we're still in Leo land, that sun going through Leo. So taking chances is there, and you have to ask yourself if, from a Virgo and mental standpoint, and Mercury going into Virgo is just it's being driven by, oh yes, our Mars is in Virgo. So Mars kind of energy. Yeah, let's just shoot it ahead one more day. Our Mars kind of energy, Mars doesn't hold back. There's a drive, an impulse to it. And that drive and impulse is going to be inspiring our mercurial qualities. You know, we need to find more things to uh, add to the or our equation of life, which is what Virgo is trying to always formulate, the appropriate equation of life that will see us through in a very effective method or methodology that we can draw upon. And we're being driven by that Mars energy. It says, don't take prisoners. If something doesn't work, jettison it quickly because it's just going to get in the way. Actually, when I look at it, those are all the main factors that this week, we'll bump it ahead to Sunday just for giggles. We're getting close to the full moon, but it'll be here this next week. Yep. That's all I'm gonna put in there for the planetary signatures that are doing the dance with us this week. And I chose an appropriate background for today because of the Leonian energy. Here are two beings poking at the focal point of the caduceus. What might transpire? Oh, you did notice that they don't have any clothes. What is likely to pop up? Things to ponder. Am I ready to take a chance? This is a good time for that. But within the sanctions of what works best for you. I'm deliberately not saying that these are the appropriate or most appropriate things that society requires. Triple Aquarius me says, yeah, some of the dictates of society, they don't really sit that well with my Aquarian perspective. But you have to write your own version of this. And your mileage and my mileage may not be the same. And I'm okay with that, as long as you're okay with that. So, if we should meet upon the plains of life, you and I, let's not hold ourselves back. Let's be intrigued by what it is that we inspire within one another. Take a chance. Do I know what's going to develop? Oh, heck no. But am I willing to take a chance and see? Oh, yes, I am. Life is an adventure. That should inspire you to explore this week with a cautionary note. But, oh, don't forget, options exist, perhaps beyond what you thought was possible to begin with. Ciao for next week. Until next week, enjoy the ride.